Hello everyone, and welcome to today's AdvancePro University lesson. Today we are going to be discussing Courier integration capabilities. So AdvancePro does support a few different shipping app integrations, specifically UPS Worldship, FEDEX Manager, USPS with Indicia Pro, or USPS Click and Ship. Okay. So for the sake of brevity today, we will be focusing on the UPS Worldship integration, but the others are going to work in a very similar way. Now, just a couple of things. If you're going to get going, you're going to need a picking, packing, or shipping slip, and then that's actually going to export over with the address, etc., to the prospective platform, whether it's Worldship or FedEx Manager, and then that information can then be used to get your shipping ticket from that software. You can get your tracking number, and that comes automatically back over into AdvancePro. So if we look at this, this is what comes from AdvancePro to the Courier: the address, the packaging dimensions if you've entered them, the weight, and your preferred service level. And then coming back from the Courier after you've shipped the transaction, you're going to see the tracking number and potentially the negotiated cost as well. So that should give you an idea of what's going to move back and forth. Let's jump into AdvancePro, and we're going to start a transaction. So I'm going to come into AdvancePro, and in order to do this, as mentioned, we're going to do a customer order. I'm going to jump through this, just adding a customer and adding an item, just to have something to ship. For more details on this, please feel free to take a look at our other videos available on advanceprotech.com under resources. So here we've got our item on the order. We'll go ahead and save, and we'll process it out through the warehouse. So this is going to be specifically for the customer orders. AdvancePro does not currently integrate for customer returns or vendor orders. That said, if you are doing returns, there is often a setting within your UPS Worldship or FedEx Manager to automatically print out a tracking slip that can be applied by your customer when they need to return an item. So that can have a tag in the box. All they have to do is turn around the box, put on the new tracking slip that's going to be provided with them in their shipment, and they can send it back to you, and you can process their RMA that way. Let's head over to the warehouse into our orders to pick. We'll open up our new order, and we'll go ahead and pick it. So in this case, I'm just going to pick all. And at this point, we can save, and we can hit our UPS FedEx button. Now, I'm going to go ahead and choose our Courier UPS from the list. There are ways we can actually automate the selection using that set UPS as default selection option. Now, another thing that we can do at this point is we can start to put in the service type, the package type, the billing options, the weight, and the packaging options in inches as well. Now at this point, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to start up UPS Worldship just so that we've got that available, and then we're going to perform an export. You don't necessarily need to have UPS Worldship running, but we're going to go ahead and get that started up. So I'm going to go ahead, we're going to put in some information, and we're going to perform our export while UPS starts up. So we're going to export this for, let's say, next day air. There we go. We're going to give a package type. So this is going to be the default packages available within UPS. I'm going to go ahead and just choose our package. Looks like UPS has a question for us. That's fine. So UPS is going to be doing its own thing to go ahead and start up for us. We can put in a billing option, so you can see we can do prepaid or bill to third party. We can go ahead and put all this information in as well. We're going to do prepaid, which means it's actually going to go against our account. There we go. Now we've got UPS Worldship up and running. I'm going to go ahead and put in our weight. Let's say this is a 12-pound package. We can put in dimensions. If you're dealing in multiple box shipments, you can actually edit all of this information and add packages from UPS Worldship or from FedEx Manager as well. So we can go ahead and put in our number of packages. If they're going to be different sizes, we can configure that in our shipping tools. And again, not all of these are necessary fields. In fact, the only one that's necessary is service type. So at the end of this, I'm going to hit prepare for UPS and ship. and that's going to mark this order as shipped within AdvancePro, so the stock leaves our inventory, and it's going to send it over to UPS. So UPS, just to receive that order, you're going to come along to the ribbon for Import/Export up at the top, and you can do a batch import for importing everything all at once. So if you've been working away in AdvancePro and you have dozens and dozens of orders ready to come into UPS, you would use batch import. Or you can do a keyed import where you're doing the orders one by one. So if you do a keyed import, it would go ahead and populate that order directly into your order screen, and then you can go ahead and hit process shipment here to move that shipment out of UPS and get your ticket, your tracking number. I'm going to do a batch import. So we're going to work with our AdvancePro import setting, and this can all be configured by our technical support. There's also articles that you can find in our knowledge base to set this up, and we may be doing a video on the setup for this soon as well, so watch in our AdvancePro University section on advanceprotech.com for that. Now, here you'll see there's 3 records to be imported, so we have 3 pending shipments. I'm going to say next. It'll go ahead and do the import, and I'm going to go ahead and save a log of that as well. So at this point, we can go back home, and we can go to our history, and we'll find that we have some imported shipments that we can work with. And at this point, it's going to give us all of our imported shipments, and if we click into any particular shipment, we're going to see tracking number not assigned. So we can go ahead and open that up. We can review the details, and if we right-click on that, we can go and edit, and this is how we would actually ship this shipment. Are you sure you want to edit the shipment? I do. So at this point, we're back to our shipment entry screen. We can deal with our ship to and ship from addresses. Those are all pre-populated. We can make any adjustments we need to, and when we're done, we just hit process shipment. That will give us our ticket to go ahead and print out and put on our box, and it will also send the tracking information back to AdvancePro. Couple other things I want to mention at this point in AdvancePro is how do we look at our tracking information, and there's a few areas where you can do this. First, you can go to the shipped picking ticket, and if the order actually has a tracking number, it will display here after it's been assigned, either through UPS shipments or through just going ahead and writing it in as you ship the order. Those are your options. Now, another place that you're going to be able to see it is on the customer invoice, but there is a setting that you're going to need to enable to do that, and that is found in Admin, Site Settings, and Printing Settings. You're going to see this print tracking number on invoice. So from there, you can go ahead and save, and you'll be able to find it under Customers, View All Invoices and Credit Memos, and you're going to be able to print out with the invoice now. If there's a tracking number on the order, you're going to be able to see it on the invoice as well. So that's one more way that you can view your tracking number. So you'd be able to print that off, and it would display here under the notes as well. So the final place where you can look at tracking numbers in AdvancePro is with a tracking number report, and this is found under the Reports area in Warehouse Reports under the Tracking Report. So here we're going to go ahead and just do a general print of all of our transactions that shipped between certain dates. And if you want, you can filter this down as well. So if you have a particular PO that you need to see the tracking number on, you can enter that PO number here in the PO number field, and it will search for that as part of this report. So this is going to go ahead, it's going to look in our database and find our tracking numbers, and it's going to give us a list of all the tracking numbers used over that period. So here we do happen to have one tracking number on PO 81, and here's our tracking number for that transaction. Now, you can also see it also gives some shipping information if there were any costs associated with that. So that's our little run through of the UPS integration and of the tracking numbers and going and finding those tracking numbers throughout AdvancePro.